Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing fine. If you're new to my channel, just go through my channel. There are lots of videos and content for you to binge watch, get to know my contents and I. But for today, I would love for us to talk about a topic that a lot of us can relate to, which is the power of starting over. Sometimes, or most times, life doesn't go as planned and it can often leave us feeling stuck and defeated. But I want to encourage you today to know that it is okay to start over. And from my own personal experience, I've come to understand that you might like your new story better. So it is very important to cultivate the mindset that every day is a new day, a new start, fresh start, like a blank canvas for you to make the decision of what you would want for your future, for this current you, the new you, what you want. Every day is a day to make the decision that only you wants to do and what is going to take you to your end game. So I would love for us to explore how starting afresh can really be empowering. Let me share a personal story with you guys. I'm not sure I've shared it on my channel before, but there was a time in my life where I was studying pharmacy and my course lasted for 5 years, or was supposed to last for 5 years. And by the time I was in my 4th year, I could no longer continue for different reasons. There was just no other option. I couldn't continue. If I decided to go to a new school, I couldn't continue from where I stopped, or even use my transcript to be able to get into pharmacy the way they do it. I'm sure a lot of you understand what I'm talking about, but it just wasn't possible. And in everything I've mentioned, it was not by choice. It wasn't my fault or something I wanted, but it was something that I could do absolutely nothing about. So imagine that out of 5 years for a course like pharmacy, you were able to study 4 years, and on the 4th year, it was impossible for you to finish, only for you to start all over again. And at that point, I was just telling myself that if you study pharmacy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is one of the most difficult courses we can ever come across, and I was able to do 4 years, only 4 years. At that point in time, to me, it was like my 4 years was down the drain. There was nothing in me willing to start, because pharmacy is one, like I said, it's so difficult, and I managed to do 4 out of 5, not even 3 or 2. So yeah, sometimes it can really leave you feeling devastated. But then for my new school, I even ended up changing course to psychology, and that's a whole different story on its own. Maybe one day we'll get to talk about it, but I ended up with psychology in my new school, and I didn't even know I could fall in love with school and with a course again like that, so. And I had a beautiful experience that I would never trade for the world, so I truly, in all honesty, loved and preferred my new story better. And currently, the same 4 years I always looked at as a waste of time. There are so many things I do today, or I know today, that comes from the knowledge of pharmacy. And while I was also studying psychology, there were so many things. For example, in neuropharmacology, there was a course under it, pharmacology. It was easier because I had pharmacology, or I did pharmacology as a course on its own in pharmacy. So pharmacy has come true for me in so many ways that sometimes when I'm having maybe a medical conversation with someone, by the time we've discussed to a lengthy period of time, then it occurs to me that how did I even know this information then? So these days, or my current self, I'm grateful for the pharmacy. At the end of the day, it wasn't a wasted experience, and like I said, I got to love my new story better. So it was a win-win for me, or at least how I see it. But yeah, I would love to share with you guys the power of a fresh start, why it is really important that in as much as you're feeling stuck, devastated, like your life's about to come to a stop, or your life is at a stop, I want to encourage you that it is doable. As difficult and as draining as it is doable for you to start over. So let's figure out the power of a fresh start. The powerful thing about a fresh start is you let go of your past mistake, your past regrets, and your past disappointment. Like I said, these days I don't even remember I studied pharmacy. Let me give you guys another story. Last month, I was at the supermarket for groceries, and I came across someone who I knew probably 8 or 9 years ago, and both of us were so surprised. We're catching up upon each other, and she was like, oh, what am I doing in pharmacy now, and the rest. And for a slight second, I was thinking back like, pharmacy. Then it triggered like, oh, I actually did pharmacy, and this person knew me when I was studying pharmacy and hasn't known me ever since then. So it's just so crazy that things like that happen, and currently I haven't forgotten that such an experience happened. So all the pain, all the regrets, all this disappointment, all the times I was like, I should have just partied, I shouldn't have wasted my time, because I put in all my efforts and to no avail, but yeah, the power of a fresh start is you being able to let go of your past. And our past tends to be very heavy, tends to come with a lot of baggages and just so much that in us. That's why I said not to dismiss how you're feeling. I understand exactly what you're feeling, but at the same time, you can't let that stop you. Our past is something that would always seek our attention, always seeking our attention, but it's all in your willpower to be able to let go of your past. Your past does not define you, and your past is your past. That is why it is called past for a reason. So a fresh start, the power of a fresh start is giving you the opportunity to be able to let go of all the past and everything, basically to let go of that baggage and weight, because our past doesn't only come with baggage but the weight as well. And it can be an exhilarating feeling, a very freeing feeling, but the most difficult part is getting to that point of being able to let go. But like I said, it is doable. So there is so much in being able to start afresh. And another thing I would say is, for the power of starting afresh, is courage. Starting afresh, in one word, to me, I would say is courage. Having the courage to go back out there, regardless of the society and all other things. Having the courage to go back out there is not an easy thing. So just as I said, letting go of the past is such a freeing feeling, but the difficult part is being able to get to that point where you can let go of the past. Let me share with you guys some things I wrote here. I said, a fresh start doesn't erase the past, but allows you to grow from it. It's about finding hope in the possibilities ahead and not dwelling on what's behind. Small daily actions can lead to big changes. Think of each day as a blank page. And like I said, letting go of your past doesn't mean you erasing your past. You can never erase your past. That is an impossibility. No one can ever erase their past, but letting go of it, not letting it redefine you, not letting it have a voice or a say in your current situation, in your today, not giving power whatsoever to your past. So it's not that you're dismissing your past or you're trying to make your past vanish. It is impossible. But being able to come to the point that yes, that is your past, but it is called a past for a reason. You focus on what is today, not what could have been. You wish you would have done this better. You wish you would have said it better. You wish you would have... It will just only keep drawing you back. And like I said, the past or our past is really, really attention seeking. So all it does is just draw you back and hinder you from moving forward. So there is a lot of power in starting afresh, regardless of whatever that voice in your head is telling you, whatever society is telling you, whatever the people around you are telling you. Guys, it is very doable, regardless of whatever situation. If it's a bad job, a bad relationship, bad life decision, wrong financial decision, whatever it is, you can always start over. And the good thing or the beautiful thing in starting over is you can start over as many times as you want. It is your life. You're in charge of it 100%. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean failure. It's just giving you a new approach or new opportunity to start ahead again. That was why I said it leaves you fully equipped for what next you can do or what next you could do. It leaves you with lessons. That was why last week I made reference on a statement saying mistakes are the world's greatest teachers, because you know how not to repeat that same mistake twice. That is why people say something that was done twice or thrice can no longer be called a mistake, because a mistake is where you learn. It's an opportunity for you to learn. It's either you learn from it or you fall back even 2 times harder than you did initially. It is okay to start over again. Starting over means right now you're more concerned with your future than your past. Just as I say, a blank canvas, it gives you the opportunity to be able to rewrite your story. That is why people always say where you come from is not in your hands, but where you go to is all up to you. How you ended up in that situation is a story for another day, but how you move from that situation is the most important thing. It is okay for you to go through the emotions, feel the pain and everything, but not let it stop you, guys. It is really okay for you to start over, regardless your age, regardless your race, regardless your class. Starting over is a respecter of nothing. It is okay for you to start over, and just as I said, and I will keep saying, you might like your new story better. And what could it cost you? Is it better for you to start over with new possibilities, new opportunities, or to keep dwelling in the past where you're not growing? All you're left with is just pains, baggages, and weight of what could have been. You wish, and it could be really detrimental to your mind. So I don't care what your situation is telling you. I don't care what that voice of disappointment in your head is telling you. I don't care what your mind is telling you. You should be able to come to the mindset that it is okay for you to start over, and regardless of what must have happened, regardless of it, it is really okay for you to start over, and you might like your new story better. Society often makes us feel like we need to do something once and get it right the first time. But life is not like that. We all know, or I'm sure you listening to me has come to the understanding that life doesn't work that way. So regardless of what society is saying to you, regardless of the age limits they have put, it is okay for you to start over. And also, fear is also another thing that holds us from starting over. It is okay for you to be scared. It is what makes you human. Every human being has fear in them. Fear is even good, is vital for survival, but you should not let fear hinder you from starting over. That is why I said it is okay to feel all the emotions, go through the pain, but not to let it stop you from starting over. You choosing to not let those things stop you from starting over. So guys, no matter your age, no matter what society is saying, no matter how scared you think it is, do it scared. At the end of the day, should everything work out, you will be the only one to really enjoy and benefit from it. And most times life always ends up going even way better than we expected sometimes. So imagine that that's your story. Just as I said for myself, there are so many times where I don't even remember that at some point in my life I went through that. So it's like a thing of the past that something has to intentionally take me back to remind me of that whole situation. Even when I remember, I don't remember the full process. Just like, at some point I did pharmacy, because now I get to benefit from the vast knowledge I got from the pharmacy. So guys, that is why I shared the story with you guys, for you to know that I truly understand what I'm talking about, and I might not understand your situation to a T, and your situation and my situation doesn't have to be exact to a T or even similar, but so long it's something that is making you feel stuck and devastated, it's like you feel like the world is coming to an end, I want to assure you that it is okay for you to start over, regardless of what the thing is or what you feel might be holding you back. It's okay to start over. I would love to share some practical tips on how you can start afresh or starting over, how you can go about it. If you're finding it difficult or you feel like it is an impossibility, the first thing I will say is to start small. It is important you start small. Everything cannot, or anything worth doing is not something you rush into or you expect to just magically happen overnight. It is important to start small. You don't just wake up one day and automatically you are no longer thinking of your past. Start small with little things like your hobbies or whatever the thing may be, whatever gives you joy or takes your mind away from the situation. Start by it. If it is journaling, if it is studying, whatever it is, just start from the little things, and do not expect that the situation is going to just turn around in 1 month, in 1 week, and there's no specific date for anyone. Everyone grieves differently, everyone goes through their emotions differently, but at the same time, it is not an avenue for you to soak yourself in the emotions that so much time has gone. That is why it is important to understand that it is okay to do it scared, do it anxious, do it nervous, as long as you're doing it starting afresh. Eventually, one way or the other, when you start gradually, one day or the other, it might seem like it happened overnight. You no longer think about the past, you no longer consider it that weight or that burden that has been on your mind. Suddenly you're being freed of such emotion, and it might feel like it happened overnight, but it didn't happen overnight. That is why it is important to start with baby steps. The next would be to forgive yourself. Personally, I feel this is the most important and vital of them all. Forgive yourself. And a lot of people tend to suffer from this, not being able to forgive themselves, guys. Without being able to forgive yourself, without forgiveness, there is no progress. I can assure you that without forgiveness, there is no progress. And in as much as you feel whatever you did was not supposed to be done, at that point in time, there's nothing more you could have done. It is called past for a reason. That is why, in as much as you can't change it, it is easier or more freeing to let go of the guilt and the regret, because you cannot change what has happened. You can only remain in the mindset of, I wish I had done things differently. I wish, if only. So you need to come to a place of forgiveness. Forgive yourself, regardless of what you think it might be, or in instances where I knew better, so I could have done better. Those are even more painful. And it is understandable, but it is very important for you to be able to make progress. You have to be able to forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself is the most vital thing, I would say personally, in being able to start over. It has happened. There's nothing you can do. Either you go every night, every day, thinking about the past, crying, feeling the pain, not being able to do anything because you are stuck on that. And as I said, and I'll say again, our past is really attention seeking. So it is okay for you to forgive yourself. If you're not able to forgive yourself, then you will not be able to forgive others. And if you're not able to forgive yourself and others, then what is the point in even trying? You're worthy of forgiveness, regardless of what you think or how you see yourself. You are worthy of that forgiveness. Because if, let's say, someone offends you, perhaps they'll come to apologize, they keep apologizing, and you see the sincerity in the apology, you would forgive. So you should also grant yourself that grace. You only feel that much pain because in your mind, you know everything that goes on in your mind. You know that you knew better, you could have done better. But that is why it is the past. It happened. There is no changing. There's no magic on planet Earth that could go back and reverse what has been done. It's been done. So it is really important to give yourself grace. Please forgive yourself. And in as much as I say everything I say, I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but at the same time, it is doable. So please show yourself that grace and forgive yourself. The next would be to visualize your new beginning. This part, I would say journaling, writing, write down what you want to be, how you see your new self, where you see your new self, what it is you want. Write down your goals, your visions, your dreams, whatever it is, how you see your new self. If it's a new weight, a new job, whatever it is, new career, new whatever, just write it down. Write down how you see, because I've come to understand that the more you're writing, it helps stays on your subconscious, on your mind, the more you're writing, because we also write with our minds as well, and we read as we're writing unintentionally. So yeah, it is important to visualize your new beginnings. As it said, you can't be it if you don't see it. If you don't see it, you won't be it. So it's important to visualize your new beginning. That can also help you, give you like a hint of how to go about things, what next you need to do. Because if I write down now that I want to be a fashion model, then the next thing would be what is required from a fashion model and the rest. So that will also help you. Being able to visualize your new beginnings can also help you see the approach at which you are to go again. And yeah, it just helps to make things easy. The next would be to take action daily. After visualizing and writing it, as I said, it helps you to see what you need to do next. So you don't just stop at visualizing it. The next thing is to start taking steps. If the next step is for you to go study about that area, go study about that area. If the next for you is to go meet someone, have a conversation with someone, go there. If it's for you to research, whatever that step is, the first steps, because you can't do everything at once as well. So those baby steps, little steps, one step at a time, just try. Progress is not perfection. Just keep going one step at a time. After visualizing, everything you've written down would help you get a map to be, or a path to be able to follow or know where you're heading to. So yeah, it is also important to take those steps. Without you taking those steps, if you've forgiven yourself, you're starting new, you visualize your new beginning without actually taking the action, then all of the things I've mentioned is futile, is not necessary. It's just pointless at this time if you're not able to take the step. That is why I said, to me, starting afresh is courage in one word. Being able to develop courage, because it is from courage first that courage births starting small, visualizing yourself and all of that. Courage is what births all of those. Without the courage, you can't visualize, not to talk of even taking the step that is required. The next would be to recognize your victories, regardless of how little. Any progress you make, you should pat yourself, be happy, feel proud of yourself, because even though it's not so much progress, at least you're not stagnant. You're not where you were or where you used to be. So guys, it is really important to cultivate the mindset to seeing it okay to start afresh. That everyone who starts afresh is not like they have a deposited motivation or a deposited strength. And I was reading a book today. It says motivation is not something that is external, it is internal. Things like motivational talks, TED Talks, and all of those, they are just there to inspire us. But motivation comes from within, because it is out of that motivation you take the step. Because if we're saying other people motivate us, every other person, every talk show, whatever it is, can motivate you. But if you don't decide to take that action, then it's not motivation according to the book. So motivation comes from internal, yourself, within you. Well, for example, if you keep going and going and going, there's a picture, there's a goal you see that is giving you the motivation to not only have the adrenaline, but also to take the action. So yeah, guys, starting over is very okay, and you might like your new story better. And most times I tend to find out that we often tend to like our new stories better. So if you're coming out of a divorce, a bad marriage, relationship, job, career decision, family decision, financial decision, whatever it is, guys, it is okay to start over, and you might definitely love your new story better. So we need to let go of the societal talks, fear, doubt, and all of that. Starting afresh in one word is courage. Being able to be courageous. And if you've tried everything within you, you've not been able to have that courage, ask God for help. Ask God to help you with the spirit of courage. And with courage or out of courage, all these things I've mentioned will be birthed out of courage, because it is with courage you can be able to come out confidently and go in for it, regardless of the biases, the talks, and whatever that is to come. So guys, it is valid for you to know that it is okay to start afresh, and starting afresh can really be empowering. You tend to hear stories of people who became billionaires or millionaires at their 40s, at their 50s. It is so easy for you to sit at home and be like, oh, all my friends have gone far. When do I start? When do I do this? Well, everybody's timeline is different. You also have to come to that understanding that it failed for you and your mates have gone 5 times ahead of you doesn't mean anything. Let me give you guys another story. In my primary school, I'm someone who was promoted a lot, and it got to a point where my mom even told me that the next time they will promote me, she will go to our school, because she would not want me to keep being promoted like that. So imagine my mates those years where they see me being promoted, double promotion, double promotion, double promotion, and it's like I've gone so far ahead of them. And then now come to see years later because of the setback from the pharmacy, I went 4 years behind, So whoever in that moment is thinking, oh, this person has gone so far, at that point in time, that 4 years has set me back, so back, even farther than I went initially. So yeah, our timelines are very different, and just because it didn't work this time, or just because it didn't work 3 times, doesn't mean it is the end of the world. Sometimes people get it on their first try. Sometimes other people get it on their third try, others get it on their 10th try. Their life is just different, and we all have different goals, we have different destinies, and we just have different lives, So don't use another person's calendar or situation to measure your own. It is your own life. If you've come to a point where it feels like you're stuck, it is okay for you to start over. Just being able to recognize what is required of you and what you need to do at that point in time. So yeah, guys, I would love for us to get into our quote for this week. What's our quote for this week? So guys, our first quote would be, remember you asked for growth, so don't be surprised when life challenges you. And our next quote would be, every goal requires 2 things, discipline and consistency. So guys, with all I have shared, I want to furthermore say that it is okay to start afresh, and remember that life is a journey and not a straight line. So let go of all those fears, regrets, guilt, disappointments, setbacks, and focus on your new story. Starting over only signifies courage and showing that you're more interested in your future than your past. And our past is very attention seeking and just too much unnecessary load, baggage, weight, whatever it is. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If this video resonates with you, please leave it in the comment section. When was that time you started over, you felt like the world was going to come to an end, you started over and you loved your new story better? Feel free to share it in the comment section, but don't forget to like this video if you haven't. Share, subscribe, share to keep the conversation going with your friends, your loved ones. And yeah, I see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining me.